Becky Lynch has had an up and down time when it comes to WrestleMania, with some duds to go along with all-time classics. Over the last decade, Becky Lynch has grown her status as a star to become one of, if not the most popular, successful, and overall talented female WWE superstar of all time. That might be contentious, but she is certainly within any discussion regarding the Mount Rushmore of women wrestlers. Lynch has had an up and down time when it comes to WrestleMania, with some duds and some all-time classics, and this Sportster's rating system will determine the very best of the best. These ratings will be compared to those from cagematch.net and Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. To learn more about how we rank wrestling matches on this Sportster, please check out our match ranking criteria guide here. Many of WWE's greatest women's wrestlers, such as Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, were shunned from the main WrestleMania card in 2018, finding themselves in a basic battle royal which was underwhelming. The action was quite messy, the structure was boring, and the false finish was uncreative. It is a huge shame that Lynch was in this match, considering where she'd be the following year. If this match took place in front of a live crowd, it didn't due to the pandemic, then perhaps it would have stood a chance. However, the lack of an audience coupled with an awful structure, basic wrestling, a weak finish, and bad booking, this match was a severe disappointment. The moves executed weren't all bad, but the way this match unraveled put an end to Shayna Baszler's momentum on the main roster before it had even begun. This match only got just over 5 minutes, which was not enough for a world title, especially when it consisted of 6 wrestlers. However, the lineup of Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Mickie James, and Natalya did their very best to pack as much into this match as they could. Considering the time constraints and how rushed this match was, technically speaking, they did a good job to ensure that things were kept together and didn't fall apart. It didn't feel over-choreographed, which is an achievement. This still isn't necessarily great though, as it failed to have much psychology or storytelling at all. The main event of WrestleMania 35 had a strong build, and going into the event, Becky Lynch was on fire as one of WWE's most over stars. However, a lengthy show made for a dull crowd. There was some popping here and there for big moves, but the tiredness in the stadium led to this match being affected a great deal. Every botch was more noticeable and awkward, every sequence felt flatter, and the action just didn't manage to get into a high gear. The action was still fine for the most part, and the story of Lynch overcoming Rousey and Flair to get a huge crowning moment was still fantastic. Due to the age of Lita and some lack of energy from the crowd in portions of the bout, this match did get quite disjointed at times. The action was still fairly entertaining, albeit quite simple with a very generic structure. It did feel a little bit like filler due to a lackluster build and a lack of real story throughout the match itself, but there was still enough star power on hand to make up for that somewhat and still produce a decent showing. Becky Lynch's first WrestleMania match was one of her best. 3 of WWE's newest top stars battled in a historic match, putting a decisive end to the Divas division. The in-ring work wasn't always perfect though, with a few mistimed moments throughout, but the crowd was into it and the occasion felt massive, which made up for minor technical misgivings. The interference of Ric Flair was a bit jarring, but the 3 women in the match still got some great chances to shine. Flair in particular stole the show with her huge moonsault. There were some great near falls towards the end of the match too, making for an exciting finish that the crowd went wild for. This was one of the best matches of the night back in 2016 for sure. Becky Lynch's best WrestleMania match came at WrestleMania 38 when she defended the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair, adding another chapter to their great rivalry. The storytelling throughout this clash was top-notch, with throwbacks to their previous match and an added level of intensity to the action. The crowd did drift in and out, but by the end everyone was on their feet as Belair hit an enormous KOD to score the win and take the Raw Women's Championship, earning her redemption from SummerSlam the year prior. Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Mina. Hope your day is so well. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel.